Borninski. Like Foster is absent. She's not feeling well. Ganguly.
Good evening.
Ram Hudek.
Good evening.
Segrist is in attendance. Slavens.
Good evening.
And Snyderman.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you. Can we please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge
allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. All right, can I have a motion to adopt the agenda with the change of taking G19 and making it G0 because we have our Watua team here, and then an add-on to the consent calendar.
Madam Supervisor, I move that the board adopt the agenda, modifying by adding on consideration of approval of closing costs to obtain donated property located east of Morton Taylor Road and north of Michigan Avenue to the consent calendar as item C3, and then adjusting so that item G 19, consider Watua annual budget approval, is at the beginning of the agenda as item G0.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of July 23rd, 2024?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Borninski. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. All right, now we have public comment on agenda items only. Public comment on agenda items only. Let me look online for anyone who might be online. Please raise your hand if you want to make comments on agenda items only at the beginning of the meeting. You can make comments. The board will not go back and forth. It's just your comment period on agenda items only. I don't see anyone online. Anyone in the room want to make comments on public comment on agenda items only? None? Okay. Public comment on agenda items only closed. Can I have a motion to pay the bills?
Madam Supervisor, I motion that we pay the bills.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Treasurer Slavens and everybody else supported. Trustee Snyderman, we'll go with that one. All right, thank you. Now can I,
Do it.
what's that?
We got to vote it.
Can I have all
Favor?
those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. We have next Aaron from
Consent
Watua.
calendar.
Oh, the consent calendar before Watua? Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Madam Supervisor, I move that the board adopt the consent calendar as presented. Item C1, consider increasing blanket purchase order for McQueen equipment. C2, consider request to increase purchase order issued to GSI Incorporated for security camera system repairs. And item C3, consider approval of closing costs to obtain donated property located east of Morton Taylor Road and north of Michigan Avenue.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Borninski. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Now I'm going to open up the general calendar, and we're going to talk to item G0. So let me go down there, which was G19. So I'll go down to G0 and read that really quick. I have a motion to consider Watua annual budget approval.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the attached resolution affirming approval of WTUA's proposed budget for the fiscal year ending September 30, 2025.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. So this is the annual Watua budget that we always listen to. Aaron comes and gives us a little speech, and we ask any questions. So Aaron, would you like to kind of talk about the year and what we're looking at now?
Sure. You have before you the proposed budget for fiscal year 24-25. It was prepared by staff and presented to the WTOA Finance Committee, which includes Canton Township's Finance Director, in July, at which point it was discussed heavily. This is obviously a much larger increase than you're used to seeing from us, and really the reasons for that are three. About 72% of our budget is comprised of wastewater treatment charges, which is largely out of our control. 85% of this increase, a little over 85%, is due to those sewage wastewater charge increase. And really, that's because it turns out that YCUA had been undercharging us for a number of years. We aren't responsible for that undercharging historically, but it's carrying into this fiscal year where we're making up for it. It's a pretty elementary mistake that was made. We have a very, I think, a very good contract with YCUA where we pay our percentage of flow of their total costs. And for about 5 years, they had under-calculated our percentage of flow by about 4%, and that 4% represents a pretty significant amount of money. That's the primary driver for the increase. The secondary driver is that there are a couple components of the wastewater treatment plant that are original to the construction back in the 70s, and those have been discovered to need repairs. They were not repaired during the expansion project. They're covered up, and it obviously wasn't discovered until just last year that they're pretty significant repairs. So a portion of this increase is also capital for repair of those components of the primary settling tanks. And then the third issue really is that because wastewater treatment is 72% of our costs, we've been extra conservative this year because of this impact that we're having, so that we don't have a similar occurrence to last year where the budget had to be amended when the error by YCUA was discovered. One additional component that we've added this year is an update to our capacity analysis, driven largely by Supervisor Graham Hudak. Once our new fiscal year begins, we'll commission a study to make sure that we still have adequate capacity for the foreseeable future. So that's an additional component of cost that has been built into this budget.
Any comments or questions? Kate?
Yeah, this isn't really for you, Aaron, but Madam Supervisor, I'm just concerned that the resolution does not have the correct date on it, and it does not reflect that we're a Board of Trustees, so I'm hoping that will be corrected before it's signed.
What?
It says that, says Board of Commissioners. Is that, I mean, that's us, right? It's supposed to be us, or is that a different group?
Probably our Board of Commissioners.
Okay, okay, all right, that explains that.
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Anyone else? Stephen?
Good to see you.
You.
Thanks for coming and presenting to us. So just so I understand the increase that you say, sorry, I lost my place in here. The increase that you say is greater than before is that the 5.96% increase that I'm seeing here? Or what is the percent that you're saying is greater than before? And I got that from what says page 4. Maybe that was just operations and maintenance.
That's only the operations and maintenance. We have a departmental budget, so the page 1 is the actual budget that is approved.
Page 1, okay.
The following pages are backup that are used to develop the
Yep.
departmental budget and used to track to make sure that we're on, I guess, in line with where we expect during the year. The actual budget approval is really only for page 1.
Okay. And the increase column is the 6%? Or
On page 1.
on page 1, I'm looking at page 1.
It would be the variance over budget of 11.3%.
Variant, oh, up top there.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha. For Oh, I see, it's both revenues and
Yes,
expenditures.
we don't keep any extra revenue on hand, so
Gotcha.
whatever we expense, we take in. We keep a working capital of about $200,000, that's it.
Okay, all right, thanks for explaining.
Tanya?
So, so this has now been corrected, so from the next year, these are going to be the costs, kind of, that's where you're approximating it?
Yes, I'm hoping that next year will actually decrease.
Okay.
I think we've been conservative this year, but as I said, wastewater treatment charges are 72% of our costs. And you don't actually know when you're preparing a budget how much wastewater our three communities will generate. They're heavily influenced by wet seasons. So if we have a very dry spring, we'll likely end up very low on this budget. But when we're preparing the budget, we don't know what next spring is going to be like.
Yeah.
So the study Aaron was talking about was basically, we're looking at, do we need extra storage based on rain flow?
Our last study was performed in 2018, and that was, it was a model of our entire system that projected at that point in time that with certain improvements, we would meet our build-out capacity. And so the study that I plan to commission in the fall is an update to make sure 7 years later that we're still looking good, that we're still good to build out or 20, 25 years to the future. And it'll also help us answer other questions that come up regarding capacity. I'll just leave it at that. I guess one additional statement I'll make is the study itself will not address going above and beyond the design storm, but having it commissioned will allow us to take that step should we so choose. So right now our facilities are designed to handle a 25-year, 24-hour storm as mandated by the state. There may be interest in going above and beyond to provide greater protection. And so this study won't do that, but it'll set us up for evaluating what the costs of incremental steps above the minimum requirement are.
Any other comments or questions? All right, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you very much.
See you later. Item G1, consider approval of a 3-year contract with SAC Constructions LLC for as-needed sanitary sewer maintenance and repair services, and consider waiving the bid process.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve a 3-year contract with SAK or SAC Construction LLC for an annual amount not to exceed $550,000 and to authorize the township clerk and/or township supervisor to sign the contract on behalf of Canton Township, subject to legal review. And should this model resolution also say to waive the bidding or to waive the purchasing policy, or?
Yes,
I don't see that in the model resolution, but it said it
it should be added. You're correct. It says it in the title.
title. All right, I'm going to add that real quick, and to waive the bidding process.
Okay, can I have a support?
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Segers, supported by Treasurer Slavens. Annual maintenance repair activities are required on Canton's aging sewer infrastructure. Public Works uses CCTV video inspection camera technology that allows staff to remotely inspect our sewer infrastructure. This equipment has resulted in staff locating more areas within our sewer system that require repairs, as we are now able to inspect more of our sewer with this technology. Typical repairs to mainline sewers are performed by relining techniques and grouting at pipe joints in order to repair damaged pipes and/or eliminate groundwater infiltration. These are services that Public Works contracts out as they require specialized equipment. In 2019, the board approved a 2-year contract extension with the sewer lining vendor to provide as-needed trenchless technology repair and rehabilitation services for our sewer system. In 2023, the board approved an as-needed contract with Inliner Solutions, which has been acquired by Purist Group and has not been responsive to the township needs. To continue to be proactive with our sanitary sewer system, we are seeking approval to award an as-needed contract with SAC Construction LLC for our cured-in-place sewer lining projects. This as-needed agreement is structured in a similar format as the previous agreements with Canton. Okay, Director Norwood, do you have anything to add?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I don't have anything to add, but happy to answer any questions.
Okay. And so these are allocated budget line items in maintenance and repair of sewers and capital outlay sewers. Any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G2, consider increasing the purchase order to A.M. Higley for the Public Works Storage Facility expansion.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the purchase order increase for A.M. Higley to contract the necessary trades to complete the construction of the Public Works Storage Facility.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. As part of Canton Township's effort to effectively deliver and manage water and sewer services, the Public Works Division needs to expand their storage facilities for operations, inventory, and equipment maintenance. Collaboration with the managers within the Municipal Services Division, it was determined that a new building construction within the Public Works yard is feasible. At the July 23rd board meeting, MSD requested and gained approval to purchase a prefabricated building to advance the project and keep on schedule. This board request is to increase the PO for A.M. Higley to contact all the trades involved in fully constructing the new Public Works storage facility. Director Norwood, do you have anything to add to that?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I don't have anything new to add other than just the next steps in the process of constructing this building, and we have used a responsible contracting.
Any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. G3, consider awarding a contract and purchase order to replace the folding partition dividers and track system at the Fellow Creeks Golf Course Banquet Center.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the contract for a purchase order for Gardner C. Vose Incorporated in the amount of $66,825 to replace folding partition dividers at the Fellows Creek Golf Course Banquet Center.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. 2019, the Board of Trustees adopted a capital improvement plan, and subsequently, the township issued capital improvement bonds to fund the CIP, project number 230006, replacement of the folding partition dividers and track system at the Fellows Creek Golf Course Banquet Center was included in this plan. The existing doors are mostly original to the building. Over time and with repeated use, the door and track system is beginning to show signs of age and are becoming difficult to mobilize when needed. Director Norwood, anything to add?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I don't have anything else to add, but happy to answer any questions.
Questions or comments? Kate?
Yeah, just a comment. I'm really glad to see this because those dividers are very, very dated. It looks like you've gone back to 1975 when you go in there. Also, I wanted to note that this came in under budget, so that's great too.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G4, consider approval of a crew leader maintenance tech 4 position with MSD.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the crew leader maintenance tech 4 position for the Facilities Department and to approve the LOA with AFSCME regarding the creation of the position.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Snyderman. The maintenance tech 4 position at the Summit has a 6:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. shift each evening. The majority of staff that are filling the role are newer employees to the township and can benefit from a more seasoned on-site crew leader in the evening to assist with training and serve as the lead worker for the staff. This position would not add any additional headcount, as the intent is to fill the position from AFSCME staff of the township. Director Norwood, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I just want to add a big thank you to the leadership at AFSCME who was supportive of this action that we're taking, and also the HR team who helped put this together. And I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G5, consider awarding a contract and purchase order to replace the HVAC split system in the ITI server room.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the contract and a purchase order to All City Mechanical and Refrigeration in the amount of $23,446.38 to replace the HVAC split system in the ITI server room.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. MSD Facilities and ITI discovered deficiencies in the mini split systems that service the ITI server room. The current units are unable to keep up with the cooling demands of the equipment. MSD Facilities and ITI identified that our HVAC split systems are a point of concern and need to be replaced. With these units running 24 hours a day, their life expectancy is suggested to be in the lower end of 10 years of this estimated lifespan. Director Norwood, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I don't have anything else to add.
Okay,
Happy to answer any questions.
thank you. We did receive 7 bids for the project also. Kate?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, how old is the current one?
I believe it's 12 years old, but
Okay.
I'll confirm.
Okay, thank you.
Any others? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G6, consider approval of a purchase order to Michigan Cat for the installation of a generator at the Fleet Services Building.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the contract and purchase order to Michigan Cat at 7700 Caterpillar Drive, Grand Rapids, Michigan 49548 in the amount of $123,889.70, which includes a contingency of $11,262.70 for the installation of Fleet Services generator.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Borninski. Beginning in 2024, the Board of Trustees adopted a new capital improvement plan, which included the installation of a generator at the Fleet Services Building. The generator is necessary to have full operation of Fleet during a power outage. Police, fire, DPW are critical operations, and Fleet must have the ability to repair those vehicles at all times. But it is, especially important when involved in a situation where the public health is at heightened risk, such as an extended power outage. On multiple occasions, Canton Township has encountered power failures during emergency events, resulting in very limited resources with Fleet Services. So we work with the Michigan Cat and their affiliation, a recognized regional program that meets our formal bidding requirements. Director Norwood, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I don't have anything else to add. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Stephen?
Just a quick question. Is this replacing one, or have we not had one there?
We are replacing one.
Okay. Do we try to resell those, or do they take it away and
Yeah,
do it-
we do get some value out of it.
value out of it? Okay, thanks.
We have had an outage. We had an outage last week or the week before?
Yeah, we've been having some blips in our power.
Out for
Both these
2
are
hours at
necessary.
about 2 a.m.
Okay.
I have a question. So how old are these generators that we are replacing, and what's usually the life of them?
So I'm not sure. Waiting for John Z's, give me some.
Is this the same generator?
I'm sorry, I was incorrect on the one. It's a new one, the one for, so it's not replacing anything.
Okay, it's a new one.
So
Okay.
I apologize for sharing incorrect information to you.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G7, consider approval of a purchase order for Crimboli Nursery for the Summit Parkway tree planting services.
Madam Supervisor, I move to authorize a purchase order in the amount of $13,446 to Crimboli Nursery Incorporated for the replanting of trees along Summit Parkway and to approve the necessary budget amendment.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. In addition to the numerous park trees that were destroyed in 2023 tornado, many trees along the Summit Parkway were lost as well. Canton's Planning Department requested a quote from Crimboli Nursery, Canton's tree service provider, to replace a wide variety of shaded trees consisting of breeds such as American elm, London plane tree, tulip tree, and more along the Summit Parkway Boulevard. Crimboli's quote includes a replacement of approximately 27 3-inch trees for a total cost of $13,446. Planting is anticipated to begin immediately following board approval. A budget amendment is necessary. And then went into the contingency funds. Let's see. Director Holmberger, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, just in preparation, you may have seen that several trees are being removed from the parkway. Those are in addition to trees that we lost during the tornado. There's a lot of dead and dying trees that are, the pine trees don't have a great root system for that area, so we'll be replacing those with different types of trees. And then these 27 trees will kind of be spread out to fill in the gaps of those as well as the trees that we lost during the tornado.
Okay. Kate? Stephen?
Steven, you want to go? Yeah, I'm glad to see this. Summit Parkway is looking a little sparse, and I did drive by the other day and had to wait for a tree to be downed. But I just wanted to mention that we're talking about a lot of different species that we're going to be replacing the trees with, and I think that's great. We need a little more biodiversity there, so I like that.
All right, Stephen?
Yeah, I was asked a question last week, and we've done different things over the years. Can residents take advantage of any of our pricing with a replacement of a boulevard tree, do you know?
Defer to Dave on that one.
Yes, trustee, yes, that can happen. I have to work through Zach and planning department.
So if they call municipal
Yes,
services?
It
they could-
depends availability and some things that, with the supplier, so.
Okay,
We've been working with other HOAs on trees, so,
okay, I know we've done it in the past. I wasn't sure currently.
yes.
Thanks.
I think HOAs are also able to do that, too.
Yes,
Oh, work with municipal services?
yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
We want to plant more trees, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Thanks.
So that they can get a hold of Emma, and Emma can help Dave out with that communication. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G8, consider approval to extend agreement with Nankin Transit Commission, approval of the municipal credit agreement with Suburban Mobility Authority for Regional Transportation, which is SMART.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the auto renewal contract agreement and letter of acceptance with Nankin Transit Commission for an additional 3 years of service, and to approve the 2024-2025 municipal credit contract between SMART
I think it continues.
and
on
the Charter Township of Canton for $92,340, and to authorize Township Supervisor to sign the contract on behalf of the township.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. The Canton Mobility Transportation Program provides curb-to-curb transportation service for Canton's older adult population and individuals with disabilities. This service is offered Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. throughout the year, and prioritizes rides for medical appointments and employment. Rides are also available for many other needs, such as shopping, getting to the summit on the park, and social events. Nankin Transit continues to provide great service to our residents who rely on this program for maintaining independence in the community. Since joining Nankin in 2018, Canton residents have received 84,849 rides, with 15,076 of those provided in FY 2024 alone. Additionally, the township submitted its annual municipal credit program application with SMART to provide funding for the Canton Mobility Transportation Program. SMART has notified the township that it is eligible for $92,340 under the program from July 24 through June 25. Community Development is requesting the Township Board to approve the auto renewal contract and letter of acceptance with Nankin Transit Commission for the next 3 years, as well as approving the municipal credit funding agreement with SMART, and to allow the municipal credit funds to be transferred to the Nankin Transit Commission to manage the Canton Mobility Transportation Program. Director Holmberger, do you want to add anything?
Just that this has been a fantastic service and partnership with Nankin since we've switched over to them. The residents have received, or been able to benefit from expanded locations outside of Canton that they can access, and a lot better access to vehicles that previously we weren't able to accommodate. There was a lot of turned down rides, and Nankin's been able to accommodate those, the extra volume with their larger size. So it's been a great partnership. Look forward to continuing.
Thank you. Comments or questions? Nope. I know we've approved earlier another ride effort that's going to be starting soon with mobility for the rest of the township, also like an Uber shuttle. Kate?
Yeah, this is a very valuable service. I'm still wondering if we've ever, I mean, this comes up every time that we approve this, but getting services extended into Washtenaw County, I just want to keep pushing for that.
We're working on a grant application that may offer that opportunity. Right now, we're restricted with, these vehicles are funded through SMART, which is Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb counties. So those vehicles aren't supposed to go outside of those county areas.
Okay. Since you brought it up, Anne Marie, the service that will be coming, they will go into Washtenaw County, is that correct?
No, I believe
It's
that's
just
only
within the township?
Within Canton, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah, we still
tried to
need
get
to
it
figure this out.
extended to other communities, but they would have to have paid some of it, and they didn't. They chose not to.
Okay, all right. So the grant, maybe, hopefully.
All right, thank you. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G9, consider approval of a bid award for Preservation Park Pavilion construction.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the above, move to award the Preservation Park Pavilion construction to the Summit Company for a total project cost of $1,166,554.80 pending legal review, and to approve the attached budget amendment.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Borninski. On June 6th, a request for proposal was advertised for the Preservation Park Pavilion's construction. As a result, 2 bids were submitted and reviewed by a panel comprised of municipal services, community development, and finance staff. The panel evaluated each company and scored them based on the evaluation criteria provided in the RFP. Following responsible contracting, the highest scoring company was brought in to be interviewed, and based on discussions of their scope items, were asked to provide a revised price proposal. In using that information, the proposals were rescored, and the panel is selecting to recommend the Summit Company to construct the Preservation Park Pavilion. The Summit Company proposed project cost is $972,129, with an added 20% contingency of $194,425.80, for a total project cost of $1,166,554.80. A budget amendment is necessary. So we have Ms. Jeanette here. Jeanette, would you like to add anything?
Thank you. We appreciate you having us here tonight, and it's been a long time coming. It's been a very important project for this community to see Preservation Park rebuilt, and we're really excited to have the Summit Company as our recommendation for tonight. I'm joined tonight with Claire Martin from OHM, and she can provide some details if you have anything specific related to the project itself. But we went through the responsible contracting scoring, and we feel very confident that the Summit Company will be able to perform the reconstruction of the Market Pavilion, as well as making the park a much more enjoyable 7-day-a-week park. That's our goal out of the whole thing, is that it's used 7 days a week, and it's part of the ARPA project with Wayne County. We're fortunate for that. We have some park millage money from Wayne County that we're fortunate to use for that, and some insurance funds from when the barn burned down. So we're trying to do good work with that and make sure that the most use can happen all throughout the whole year, 7 days a week at that park.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Kate, go ahead.
Sorry. So you mentioned 7 days a week and all throughout the year. So how are we going to handle inclement weather or winter there?
So it's going to be much like any of our other parks, and it'll depend on use. And one of the things that, as we go through these Cherry Hill Village projects, we've done them in phases intentionally so that we can make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success with next year's Town Square project. And while Preservation Park is going to be a gravel lot, it's going to be reconfigured and made a little bit safer for those that use it. But the intention is that that'll be one of our primary parking spots for people visiting the village. And so it'll be maintained much like our other parks are. And where our goal is through the process, it's going to be a lot of greening up of the space. OHM did a nice job of putting a lot of green lawn through there, and we're going to have it be a space where people feel like, hey, I want to come out and have a picnic for my lunch and not just be there on Sundays for the market. And so moving forward, our goal is that it would be treated like any one of our other parks and be something that the people that live next door want to come visit just for their dinner, and those people that come to the village want to park there and use it as a primary space. When we are designing the town square, our connectivity is going to come up towards that direction so that it draws people in and takes them down into the village.
Yeah, I mean, the current parking lot, when it rains, it's pretty muddy and not a lot of fun to walk through.
Yeah, it'll still be gravel, but they're doing a lot of improvements through the process.
All right, thank you.
Stephen?
Thanks, Jeanette. Is the design still what we saw before, the last design that was presented to the board? And I believe there was the ability to temporarily add walls to it?
So it is still the design that we had in April when we came for the study session. They did the height appropriate so that if we did want to down the road put temporary walls, we could. If we went much higher than what we were at, it wouldn't be feasible. So we kept with the same height that's there.
Okay. Thank you.
Deputies-
Looking forward to it.
Deputy Zelinas isn't here, but he used to work at Comerica, and when they would have pavilions like this, or actual companies that, like if somebody wants a party in the middle of December, that they could put up, like you said, the temporary walls and the heating. So that's how, they could,
Yeah.
they can rent the apparatus
I
like
think
that.
that's good.
Yeah.
So when you say like all 7 days, so you're thinking that could be rented out? That's the purpose during when we don't have the markets on Sundays?
Certainly, much like any of our other pavilion sites, it could be an event space for multiple purposes. When I say 7 days a week, it's just like Floatin' or Freedom or Griffin, any of those spaces. We want people to use them whenever they feel suitable to do so, and it would follow any of our other timelines of when we allow people to use the space.
All right, with that, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. The next item is G10, consider approval of 2 purchase orders for additional engineering services in Cherry Hill Village.
Madam Supervisor, I move to waive the bidding process and approve the submission of 2 purchase orders to OHM Advisors for the construction administration services for the Cherry Hill Village water feature for a total project cost of $67,650 and parking lot construction for a total project cost of $70,400.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. On June 25th, 24, the Board of Trustees approved RBA items G9 and 10, awarding bids for the construction of the water feature and parking lot in Cherry Hill Village Town Square. To assist in the oversight of these 2 projects, staff are recommending to waive the bidding process and award OHM Advisors to provide construction administration services. The Cherry Hill Village water feature includes a project amount of $61,500 with a 10% contingency of $6,150 for a total cost of $67,650. The public parking lot project has a cost in the amount of $64,000 with a 10% contingency of $66,400 for a total project cost of $70,400. Upon approval, 2 separate purchase orders will be submitted, and the budget implications are still under capital outlay land improvements. Jeanette, do you want to add anything?
Thank you. We've been fortunate enough to work with OHM on a lot of these Cherry Hill Village projects, and they've done a fabulous job of coordinating efforts with DTE, with Wayne County for the permitting process, and they have a very in-depth understanding of the projects. And we look forward to the opportunity to continue to work with them on this next stage of the process. And if you have any questions, Claire's also here to answer.
Tanya?
So I'm looking at the project description from OHM. It's about, it's a paved parking lot. And are we planning to put like any option for, in the future or right now? Because it's a town, it will be considered a township parking lot for option to have like EV charging options in there. Are we considering those things in that area?
In this phase, we did not do that, but in other future lots, we are going to consider that.
Okay.
So we should look at doing some prep work at least for that, while you're laying, if you're,
Like, when we are thinking of, because we are currently doing, thinking of putting, I'm not saying like everything has to be EV charging, but that option to have some sort of a connectivity for the future, that would be something good to have. We don't have to have like the capability right now and then. Let's say, for example, like the connectivity for that area for charging purposes that can be built in the future. It doesn't have to be EV charging like spot right there, but an option to have the connectivity for the future. Like, we are asking a lot of business parking lots to have such options. It would be nice to have something like that for our own parking lots when we are building for the future.
Certainly, we agree that it's really important. I think the unknown of what's happening to the parcel on the street side is why we didn't go with that route. Right now, we're still working through the lighting program with DTE for the parking lot itself, but the front parcel that we are not paving, that could potentially be for future use, at that time, we could run electric conduit to those spaces, and it would go towards that building.
the Cherry Hill Village study also, the study for the electric vehicle chargers for Cherry Hill Village was to place the prep right near the theater. So that was the Cherry Hill Village site. I know John's not here, but that was part of that study.
Yeah, they have numerous spots that they've kind of identified as priority areas for that.
Okay. Anyone else? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G11, consider awarding a bid for the audiovisual installation services for the Cherry Hill Village Factory Building.
Madam Supervisor, I move to award a bid for the Cherry Hill Village Factory General Construction to DNS Contractors Incorporated for a total cost of $2,493,267.60 pending legal review.
Support?
Is on G11
G11.
is not for
Oh.
DNS.
I was ready to go to G12.
Okay. Hey, if you want to jump right through.
I retract that motion. And I move to award the bid for the audiovisual installation services of the factory to Conference Technologies Incorporated for a total cost of $107,154.70.
Now we'll support you.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. In June 24, a request for proposal was advertised for the audiovisual installation services at the factory. As a result, 4 bids were received and reviewed by a panel comprised of members from Municipal Services, Community Development, and Finance. The panel evaluated each company and scored them based on the evaluation criteria provided in the RFP. As a result, the committee is recommending Conference Technologies Incorporated for a project cost of $93,178 with an added 15% contingency of $13,976.70 for a total project cost of $107,154.70. Jeanette, do you want to add to that?
We've just had a really good experience working with Conference Technologies in the past and their staff. And they've walked through the building a couple times and they feel very comfortable with providing the AV for that facility. And through responsible contracting, they're our recommendation for this project.
Thanks, and that those funds are through capital outlay improvements. Anyone, any comments or questions? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G12, consider awarding a bid for the general construction of the Cherry Hill Village Factory Building.
Madam Supervisor, I move to award the bid for the Cherry Hill Village Factory General Construction to DNS Contractors Incorporated for a total cost of $2,493,267.60 pending legal review.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. In May 24, a request for proposal was advertised for the Canton Township Factory interior build-out, which consists of labor and materials for construction. As a result, 5 bids were received and reviewed by a panel comprised of members from municipal services, community development, and finance. The panel evaluated each company and scored them based on the evaluation criteria provided in the RFP. As a result, the committee is recommending DNS Contractors Incorporated for a project cost of $1,952,723, which includes alternate item 2, main floor, leveling for $13,945. Additionally, we recommend adding a 20% construction contingency of $390,544.60 and a $150,000 allowance to address unforeseen conditions for a total project cost of $2,493,267.60 pending legal review. Jeanette, do you want to add anything to that?
Thank you. I am joined tonight with Michael Malone from Partners in Architecture, who have been very pivotal and crucial to this whole project. Their entire team, including Lauren Lee and several other staff members, have worked tirelessly to develop this plan for us, and we're looking forward to opening the factory to the public in the spring or summer of 2025. Through responsible contracting, we did identify DNS as our recommended firm. I know that Partners in Architecture has worked with them in the past, so Michael will be able to speak to them if you have questions specifically about their firm. And we look forward to any questions that you may have.
Thank you. These are part of our ARPA funds, capital outlay land improvements. Do you want to add anything, Mr. Malone?
No, it's just a pleasure, of course, to be involved in this project. Very exciting. And the contractor we're recommending, or Jeanette and her team are recommending, we've done several projects, very successful. We're currently finishing 2 right now, so we're very confident in their abilities. So, thank you.
Any questions from the board? Questions or comments? Stephen?
Thank you. Good to see you, Mike. And similar to my question on the pavilion, is the design set? I know we did a bunch of study sessions on it. I kind of lose track. I have attended a couple committee meetings, but
Yeah, we've had, I know there's been a lot of different schematics over the past year and a half or so. The plan that we showed you in April is what we're going with. We did take it to the Historic District Commission last week for a certificate of appropriateness approval, and they did approve that, and that just involved some lighting that's going to go on the outside, some sconces based on building code to make sure that we have some sufficient lighting on the outside, and then some screening that'll go around the rooftop unit, and it'll mirror the same style of the building with the same stucco finish and the same trim piece that's on the building.
all right, thank you.
Anyone else? All right, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. G13, consider bid award for cable studio network attached storage system and server room upgrades.
Madam Supervisor, I move to award the bid for the NAS storage system and server room upgrades to Conference Technologies Incorporated in the amount of $47,062.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Segrist, supported by Trustee Snyderman. In July of '24, a request for proposal went out for the purchase and installation of video equipment and a network-attached storage system for the Canton Cable Studio. As a result, 3 companies submitted proposals, and after careful evaluation, Canton Cable is recommending Conference Technologies Incorporated for the purchase of the NAS storage and server room upgrade for a total cost of $47,062. Jeanette, do you want to add anything to that?
I don't have anything to add, but I'm welcome any questions.
Questions or comments? No? Okay, Kate?
Is this the same company that's doing the factory building?
Yes, it is.
Get any kind of discount for
They-
having 2 projects?
I think that's where our prices came in, where when you get multiple projects. But we have worked with Conference Technologies in the past and have had a really good experience with them on those projects.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G14, consider first reading of an amendment to the Canton Township Code of Ordinances, Chapter 46, Offenses and Misdemeanor Provisions.
Madam Supervisor, I move to introduce for a first reading an amendment to the Canton Township Code of Ordinances to Chapter 46, Offenses and Misdemeanor Provisions.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Snyderman. An amendment is being requested in the Canton Township Code of Ordinances, Chapter 46, Offenses and Misdemeanor Provisions regarding assault and battery, malicious annoyance and use, fraudulent schemes, possession of a dangerous weapon, and possession or use of controlled substances. Director Bao, do you want to add anything?
Yes, thank you. This is, as things prosecuted, some things were noticed over the years. So we added a few items to make it clear for the court and the prosecutor and the defense counsel as they move these cases to court. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Questions or comments from anyone? No? Kate?
Yeah, it looks like these changes are keeping us up with current law and also current technology that people have available. So I appreciate that we're updating this.
I think it should be noted, too, that the Wayne County prosecutors asked for assistance over the years, and most recently, I think last fall, to look at these, some cases that would be normally charged as a felony crime, low-level felony crime, to empower the local municipalities to prosecute these cases and move them through the local courts. So you'll see some of the cases over the years really change where we prosecute cases at the local level, controlling some of the outcomes with the probation department.
Anyone else? All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion passes. We have another one, don't we?
We have a second motion, right?
I don't read the second motion on ordinance amendments
Okay.
because we have had to cancel meetings in the future, and additionally, we have passed a first read, but then we have postponed introduction of a second read. And so it's not wise to obligate ourselves to doing a second read at a specific date, while we do have a policy that requires we submit the RBAs with 2 dates. For the last 2 years, I've only been reading the first motion on ordinance amendments.
Okay. So we will plan to take this to the next meeting. All right.
Just introduce it at a future date.
Okay. Item G15, consider first reading of amendment to the Canton Township Code of Ordinances, Chapter 70, Adoption of Uniform Traffic Code.
Madam Supervisor, I move to introduce for first reading an amendment to the Canton Township Code of Ordinances, Chapter 70, Adoption of the Uniform Traffic Code.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. An amendment is being requested in the Canton Township Code of Ordinances, Chapter 70, Adoption of the Uniform Traffic Code for Michigan cities, township, and villages, updating penalties and forfeiture guidelines to match the UTC. Director Bao, do you want to add anything?
This is along the same lines as the prior, just a different ordinance. This is used to, as an application to the forfeiture law with drunk driving cases or otherwise stated OWI cases or multiple offenses. So it allows us to use the application to the forfeiture law to apply forfeiture for multiple OWI cases. So just follows in line with the state code.
All right. Any questions or comments? No? All in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G16, consider approving an amendment to the purchase order issued to Keesler Police Supply Incorporated with an associated 2024 police budget amendment.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve an amendment to the purchase order issued to Keesler Police Supply Incorporated, increasing it from $86,638.90 to $100,504.45, and to approve the 2024 budget amendment to police revenues and expenses, both in the amount of $13,920 accordingly.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens. In January, the board approved the purchase of 110 new Glock handguns in the amount of $86,638.90 from Keesler Police Supply Incorporated. The quote included a trade-in credit for 95 handguns at $290 each. The number of handguns being traded in is now reduced to 47, which reduces the trade-in credit by $13,920 and increases the total purchase price by the same amount to $100,558.90. The department is also requesting a 2024 budget amendment to increase revenue by $13,920, which will be collected from police officers who are electing to purchase their duty-issued weapons at the trade-in value of $290 each. This revenue will equal the difference of the reduced credit from the original Keesler price quote. Director Bao, do you want to add anything?
I do not.
Comments or questions? All in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G17, consider approving a one-year contract renewal with Michigan Police Legal Advisor Group.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve a one-year contract renewal for police legal services with Michigan Police Legal Advisor Group, LLC, in the amount of $34,560.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Brunensky. The Police Department is requesting to renew its annual contract with the Michigan Police Legal Advisor Group for legal advice on administrative and operational issues, department policies, and legal update training. The contract renewal is based on 144 hours per year and is paid in monthly installments for a total of cost of $34,560. Director Bao, do you want to add anything?
I just add that it's been invaluable as a police chief to have this resource. It's really a niche level of law that the police legal advisor is an expert in, and not only in the state of Michigan, but throughout the United States. We're just fortunate enough he's close by.
Great. Any comments or questions? All in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item G18, consider approving an agreement for consulting services between Canton Township and Treatment Intervention Services, LLC, with an associated amendment to the 2024 opioid recovery.
Support. Oh, whoops.
Close.
Madam Supervisor, I move to approve the, three-year agreement with an option for renewal for consulting services between Canton Township and Treatment Intervention Services, LLC, in the amount of $36,000 annually to be paid in monthly installments from the Opioid Recovery Fund, and to approve the attached budget amendment.
Now support.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Trustee Brunensky. The Police Department is requesting approval of a three-year agreement with Treatment Intervention Services, LLC, to be paid monthly for a total amount of $36,000. This agreement begins in September 2024 and includes one optional three-year renewal period at the discretion of the Township Supervisor. Funds from the opioid settlement fund will be used for this expense according to the included budget amendment. Director Bao, do you want to add anything?
I would just add it's oddly enough very similar to the prior board action. Is Dale Ugala is invaluable. He had 50 years of service to the community, and his knowledge and that's offered to our community through our police clinician program really supports the program and its growth. And when you look at today's update, it looks like we're tracking at about 470 referrals that are going to go to our police clinician by my guesstimate, but right now we're at about 301, so we expect to be about 470 for the year. So to have that oversight for a new clinician program is very important.
Stephen?
Thank you. Chief, do you, just to understand how it's going to work, is this support given to our embedded clinician, or will there be some direct contact with people in need of this service?
It's been in place for a few years now. Both. There's direct contact on occasion. It's more
Yes,
happenstance. with those in crisis in our jail cell, which has happened. But the primary job function that we're seeing play out is just oversight of the program with Kristen.
Okay.
He was actually able to assist in some things that were going on at the summit with some of the young people.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
so he-
on site.
On site, he was
Okay.
able to go directly and assist with that.
Okay, thanks.
Kate?
I just wanted to say, I think this is a great use of our opioid settlement funds.
Thank you.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. So will the next one be G20 still?
20. G19 doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, because it became G0, right?
Okay, G20. Consider increase of purchase order to R&R Asphalt for additional work on Pheasant Run Golf Course paths.
Madam Supervisor, I move to increase the purchase order to R&R Asphalt Incorporated by $300,400 to complete the Pheasant Run Golf Course path improvements and the necessary budget amendment.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavin. The Engineering Services is requesting an increase of purchase order 2024 through 990 to R&R Asphalt Incorporated in the amount of $300,400 for cement stabilization required to prepare the paving surface of the reconstruction of Pheasant Run Golf Course paths. Director Norwood, do you want to add anything?
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. This is, we're running into some issues with the subsoils, and so we have to add more techniques to make sure that this path will last, hopefully it'll last as long as the original path, about 30 years. So that's where we're at this point.
Correct. This was found during the construction.
During construction, and what you're seeing, today's action is looking at a worst-case scenario. We're hoping that it's not always throughout the whole, that part of the golf course needs this to happen.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Okay, that ends our general calendar. Now, let's see, we'll go with public comment for 3 minutes. I'm going to go to online. Any of our attendees want to do public comment? You can please raise your hand electronically. 3 minutes. The board does not respond. This is your time for public comment to let the board know what your opinion is on anything you would like. Okay, I don't see any hands online. Anyone in the room? Public comment? Do we have any public comment? Okay, seeing none. All right, thank you. All right, next we will do staff comment. Greg, do you have anything to add, talking about what's going on this week?
Just gonna note that the South Pavilions are making great progress on those. We anticipate that they could potentially be done later this week, early next week, with site restoration to follow that, and then we'll have some sort of ribbon cutting for that coming up. So that's very exciting that that project is finally coming to conclusion. And then I believe this Thursday is the final Thursday night concert, so get out there and enjoy that this week.
Have nice weather for it.
Knock on wood. I wasn't going to say it because I didn't want to jinx it, but we have had nice weather all summer long.
We have. It's been very good, yes, on the Thursday night concerts, correct. All right, thank you. Chad? Chief Chad? Nothing? Director Norwood? Deputy Supervisor?
I just want to point out that today is International Day of the Left-Hander. And as a left-hander, I
All
just want to
left-handers, raise
wish
your hand.
everybody,
1, 2.
at least all the
there we-
lefties in the audience, a
Four.
happy
There you
August
go.
13th.
There we go. All you lefties.
You're just weird.
Emma, do you have anything? Our resident advocate? Okay, Jeanette, do you have anything to add about things happening? No? All right, now to board comment. Kate?
Yes, this is a special day for me because my mom, Sue, and my sister, Emily, are in the audience.
Hi,
So
Mom
just
and
wanted to
sister.
say hi to them.
Welcome.
Welcome, welcome. Back to Michigan. Thank you, Stephen.
Hope you enjoyed the show.
Yes, did you enjoy? We're going to sing and dance when we're done here.
I'll be leaving before that.
Good.
Just wanted to wish everybody a happy last month of summer. Take advantage of it. And that I know that some schools will be starting soon. Maybe not the public schools, but some of the other schools. So watch out for the kids out there going to school.
Thank you, Diane.
I agree. And also, I want to congratulate the clerk for the election, him and his staff.
It's
And a
done.
lot of our employees pitched in and did a terrific job. So congratulations and good job.
Tanya?
Yeah, I just wanted to congratulate the clerk's office and everybody for having a great election and, following so many, probably this is our clerk's 4th election this year, so we are happy that we are almost there.
Thank
And
you.
enjoy the nice weather. I am looking forward to it. I usually have never probably attended a couple of Thursday night concerts, so I'm looking forward to the last one.
Thank you for the kind words about the election, and definitely glad to hear the office staff and the clerk's office staff, and then the township staff kind of uplifted in that process, because it is a joint effort. We could not do it alone, and there are lots of folks who have been with us for a long period of time, who work in Canton Township and who show up every election or every other election and help us. I don't have a list of all the people I want to thank, but it was a great election day. On top of that, we have 33 chair people. These are poll workers who have come back many years in a row, and they take a position of responsibility on election day, and they do an amazing job as well, along with the over 200 election inspectors that we send out into the community. So really grateful. The election itself is really put on by Canton, for Canton, and we had 18,412 voters cast their ballots, which is about 26% turnout, which is not too shabby for an August election, but we better get higher than that for November. So we're going to have to talk to your neighbors and make sure they know how to vote. This is our second election doing early voting. That's going well, but we're definitely going to work to try to educate the public for that option going into November as well. But it was a good election day. It's probably the smoothest election day we have had since I've been clerk in Canton, and I can't believe it's been 4 elections this year. Most people think that like I run one election every 4 years. We run 4 elections just this year.
One more, yay.
Yeah, and I see at least one of my poll workers here in the crowd. Good to see you. Thank you very much.
Yes, we do have a League of Women Voter Watcher Observer. They do go to the different meetings. So Carrie Moon Dupree is currently the president of the Northwest Wayne County League of Women Voters, observing our meetings as in other communities. Thank you. Okay, thank you. And as you can see, I'm wearing a mask because COVID is very rampant in our community again, because we are a very social community. So this is, I had it last week, but we are coming down with it in different areas of the township. I'm being careful, so stay healthy, everybody. All right, great, thank you. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Support.
Motion made by Clerk Seeger, supported by Treasurer Slavens and Trustee Ganguly. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned.